Hey there, it's me, Ripper the Clown, the unpredictable cartoon character come to life. And I'm here to discuss why WrestleMania 34 is the absolute worst WrestleMania card in history. Hands down, this card is sad, uninspired, contrived, and just plain pitiful. You know, WrestleMania is just another show anymore. It used to mean something, it means shit now. And it's always presented in a way to make everyone think that it's special, even though it's just like any other show or pay-per-view or whatever the WWE puts out, just with more flair and pomp and circumstance and that crap. No matter what anyone says or any comparisons, WrestleMania 34 is the worst WrestleMania card ever. And I've said this before, but never so vehemently as I'm saying it right now. If the WWE set out to design the worst Hall of Fame and WrestleMania cards in history, they couldn't have done so more perfectly. It almost seems planned. Now, here are the matches and why the WrestleMania 34 card sucks. First, let's talk about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now, this is just an excuse to fit all the men's roster onto the WrestleMania show in some capacity. This Battle Royal means nothing. I mean, look at the past winners. The Big Show, Cesaro, Mojo Rawley, and Baron Corbin. Did that Battle Royal win actually mean anything to any of these guys other than Cesaro? And even with Cesaro, it arguably meant nothing too. In fact, none of these guys lived up to the alleged prestige of winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The Big Show's win just seemed like a silly token, and he did nothing after that win. It's pretty much vanished from the WWE scene as if anyone cares to watch the Big Show anymore anyway. Baron Corbin's done absolutely nothing, and last year's winner, Mojo Rawley, he hasn't done anything either. They keep flipping Mojo from babyface to heel and putting him on TV and removing him from TV for months. Not that that's a bad thing, because like the Big Show, does anyone really want to watch Mojo anymore anyway? But why do they keep giving the Andre the Giant Battle Royal wins to guys that they plan to do absolutely nothing with? It makes no sense, and it's absolutely pointless. And again, it's just a cheap way to give everyone a WrestleMania spot, and the whole Battle Royal thing has kind of ran its course at least 2 to 3 years ago. This Battle Royal sets the tone for WrestleMania 34, where approximately half the card consists of matches bogged down with a ton of freaking people. Only half the card consists of singles matches. Again, this is obviously done to smash as many people as they can onto the show, but this would be different if it was ECW circa 1999 when they could actually pull off multi-person matches and do it fantastically. But no doubt, all these multi-person tag matches and 3- and 4-way dances at WrestleMania are just going to bog things down with the same boring, slow WWE cookie-cutter style of multi-person matches that they always freaking present. And then we move forward to the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. The former Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal is now just the Women's Battle Royal. It doesn't get a special name like Andre the Giant because of the allegations that people started throwing out about the Fabulous Moolah. No one ever cared about throwing out those allegations against Moolah before whenever the WWE honored her, but now apparently that's an issue. But regardless of the name, again, it's just an excuse to get all the women on the show like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal does for the men. Who cares? This will mean nothing. Now that we've got all the WrestleMania Battle Royal dumbassery out of the way, let's look at the rest of the card, shall we? Let's start with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Who cares about any of these guys? Or this ridiculous feud? I mean, seriously, how many times in the past 6 to 9 months has the WWE storyline saw Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens getting fired in some capacity only to be rehired like an hour later or a day later or a week later? What are the WWE writers getting paid millions of dollars to freaking do when they can't interject anything new or creative into this already stale feud? True, however, after approximately 2 years of seeing Daniel Bryan's soul die week after week doing that asinine role as SmackDown general manager, and all those pathetically acted segments where he's talking on the phone to no one, and then someone comes in the room to talk to him, and he has to hang up and address it, and then they leave the room and he stares off like introspectively. After seeing the painful, soulless look in Daniel Bryan's eyes for the past 2 years, being pigeonholed into such a silly, asinine, worthless role, I'm sure that everyone will be excited to see Daniel Bryan back in the ring. But I could care less because I always thought he was one of the most overrated guys in the business. At no point during the past 2 years have I thought to myself, boy, I'd like to see Daniel Bryan in the ring again. Nor at any point in the past 2 years have I thought, I'm going to go grab a DVD and watch one of the classic Daniel Bryan matches from, WrestleMania, whatever. Nope, I haven't thought to even relive any of his matches because, again, to me, he's grossly unentertaining and one of the most overrated performers in wrestling history. Notwithstanding the fact that while in relation to, again, this asinine angle with Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn that we've seen a gazillion variations of, it makes sense, I guess, as a tag team, again, because it's another match where they're cramming as many people into that match as possible to make, give everyone their WrestleMania spot. If Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens broke into my house at 3 a.m. and started fighting in the living room, I wouldn't walk downstairs to watch it because I could give two shits about Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, especially the two latter guys. Why Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have a job is one of the biggest mysteries to me. Next to, is Bigfoot real and who shot JFK? They're two of the worst on the WWE roster. Why were they hired in the first place? Kevin Owens reminds me of that mentally defective greaser found in every gym across the country who walks around bragging to everyone that he's going to be an MMA fighter or wrestler one day. And sadly, in Owens' case, he's achieved the latter. Personally, I'd rather have a personal conversation with one of those mentally defective greasers at the gym only to have to stand there and listen to their braggadocious lies versus having to watch any Kevin Owens match, let alone listen to any of his piss-poor promos. Then we have Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Next to the Kevin Owens mystery, the mystery of why Asuka's name has a U in it, but the U is silent, tops that list next to is Bigfoot real and who shot JFK, and again, why Kevin Owens has a job. But anyway, Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. It'll probably steal the show. That's all I really have to say about this one. And let's take a look at the other women's match, Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. As much as the Flair-Asuka match will be good, this one will be probably just the opposite. Absolutely god-awful. Next, we have The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Bálor. Again, in another three-way match, cramming as many men into the roster as they can and bogging down every match. This one's for the Intercontinental title. Okay, once again, another match that crams a bunch of guys into one scene. As I said earlier, this one will definitely follow the WWE's cookie-cutter style of three-way dances, notwithstanding the fact that this feud has been silly, contrived, and predictable thus far. Again, much like everything that they do. Then we've got the maybe match of John Cena versus The Undertaker. It's got no build other than basically John Cena calling out The Undertaker week after horrible week. You all, if you watch my videos, you all know how I feel about John Cena. He's a bastard. In every regard. One of the worst performers in history. I've often wondered, if he's a descendant of those Easter Island head things because he resembles them so much. But then at the same time, his acting resembles that of Lance Link so much, Lance Link's Super Chimp, if you remember that show, that he has to have come straight from the monkeys, regardless. This match between John Cena and The Undertaker, which will undoubtedly take place, that probably should have happened 5 or 10 years ago, shouldn't it? But oh well. Anything with John Cena now, or 5 years or 10 years ago, or 5 or 10 years from now is unwatchable shat. So I don't expect any more from this one. Another match, it's another match with zero build and the absolutely ridiculous angle of John Cena trying to get on the WrestleMania show. Yeah, as if we all believe that bullshit. So next we have AJ Styles defending the WWE Heavyweight Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. So tell me, why is the U silent in his first name but not in his last name? I don't freaking know. But like Asuka, I realize that I must have been pronouncing a lot of Japanese wrestlers' names wrong over the years, like the Great Muta, the Great Kabuki, and Kensuke Sasaki, just to name a few. But back to the WrestleMania 34 match between AJ Styles and Nakamura. Have you seen the promos between these two? Generally speaking, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura are two of the worst promo guys in the business. And as a build to their match at WrestleMania 34, They have been having conversations. Seriously, what the F are the writers smoking? Those exchanges between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura haven't and don't build the suspense for this match. They make the match look silly and sadly comical and pointless. Which, in fact, it is already pointless, thanks to zero build that they've given this thing. You know, this match could be really good, and I'm sure it really will be good. But honestly, it seems like the WWE is relying on the unmentioned New Japan history between these two to establish and carry the match's build, and it's just not working. And you know what also doesn't work? The fact that approximately 6 months ago, Shinsuke Nakamura was built to be Jinder Mahal's challenger, and then like Jinder Mahal, a guy who's tanked at this point in time, squashed the guy basically. So how does that give Shinsuke Nakamura any credibility going into this match with AJ Styles? It doesn't. And once again, it just shows how the WWE operates on this nonsensical platform, this nonsensical level of absolute idiocy, where nothing ever makes sense. And it's honestly at a point where they don't even seem to care that it doesn't make sense. And here's another match that makes zero sense. Cesaro and Sheamus versus Braun Strowman and whoever. You know, the bar has, at least in my opinion, they've lost all relevance. No one even remembers that Sheamus was ever a world champion. And this team quickly became very stale and predictable. And just annoying as hell. Strowman's tag team partner may be the only solid surprise of WrestleMania 34, but putting the tag belts on Strowman and his partner, which will obviously be what they do, will be grossly misusing Braun Strowman, a guy who is absolutely incredibly over, and you know, somebody that probably should be facing Brock Lesnar in the main event instead of Roman Reigns. But again, why should we expect anything different or even better? My phone's ringing. I bet it's somebody calling to tell me that they agree that WrestleMania 34 sucks. Hey, guess what? That phone call was from somebody calling to tell me that they agree with me that WrestleMania 34 sucks, just as I predicted. So let's continue to discuss the sucky WrestleMania 34 shit show with a match that is going to be probably one of the biggest shit shows on the show. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. Why the hell is this on WrestleMania whatsoever? Did anyone else forget that 205 still exists? I did. I forgot it existed about 8 weeks ago. So I didn't even know that this match was a thing until I read about it online. Trust me, no one will care about Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. Next we have the Usos versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. And once again, another three-way match to get everyone on the show. This match could be one of the only salvageable matches on WrestleMania 34. I actually think the Bludgeon Brothers name is really sophomoric, but I really like Harper and Rowan, and after all these years, I think they deserve a run with the tag titles. It's about damn time, so I really hope that they throw the belts on those two guys, but they probably won't. Next, we have Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I could say so much about this match. All of it is negative. Why is Ronda Rousey so freaking important that she's not in NXT for the next 6 months? I mean, I know her history, but I still want to know, why the hell isn't she in NXT for the next 6 months? Because I can pretty much guarantee that the majority of the female roster on NXT have more in-ring wrestling ability at this point in time than Ronda Rousey does. If I was one of those girls, I'd be pretty freaking pissed off. Look, people, this is just the sad reality of the situation. This tag team match is just a cheap way to get Ronda Rousey on the WrestleMania card and to shield her gross inability and lack of talent in the wrestling ring by having 3 others in the ring cover for her, buy the match some time, and limit Rousey's in-ring time while simultaneously making her look like a superstar, making her look like $1 million freaking dollars, and giving her a glorious debut match at WrestleMania. Whew. And of course, this match is also a cheap way to get Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and even Kurt Angle onto the WrestleMania card. Who wants to see Stephanie McMahon in the ring at this point in time? Hell, who wants to watch Triple H wrestle at this point in time? Or even Kurt Angle, for that matter. Let me tell you something. Kurt Angle, his sad in-ring ability at this point almost makes his acting look good. I mean, what the hell happened to Kurt Angle's acting ability? He used to be okay, even passable. And actually, he was pretty funny back in the day. But now, Kurt Angle just looks like a tan, bald-headed, and bug-eyed tick ready to pop with silly fake facial expressions and feigned inflections that would rival John Cena for the shittiest, most pathetic actor in the history of the known universe. Seriously, Kurt Angle's bad acting may have surpassed John Cena at this point, and that's something that's really difficult for me to say. And mark my words, Ronda Rousey will get that submission victory over Stephanie McMahon at WrestleMania 34, as if that will make Ronda Rousey look good or give her any kind of credibility going forward. So next we have a match that started as a three-way dance and then, surprise, surprise, turned into a four-way dance. Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev for the United States title. Once again, another match with a ton of freaking people. Rusev being added last week because, from what I read online, he has great merchandise sales. Okay, so I've got to believe that this is the first time that I've ever read that someone was plugged into a match at WrestleMania because he has good merch sales, which really says a lot about their logic and their booking practices. You know, it's amazing if you think about it that Randy Orton was winning the world title last year at WrestleMania, and this year he's facing a guy with good merch sales, Jinder Mahal, the guy who dominated the world title scene back, during the summer, only to be downgraded, immediately forgotten upon losing the belt, and a guy who looks like a weirdy, beardy, tan troll man. All this for a title that, much like all the other titles in the WWE, means squat at this point. And then we have Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship, another title belt that means absolutely squat at this juncture. And hey, I guess the WWE thinks everyone wants to see this WrestleMania match. Again. Does anyone really care about this so-called main event? And perhaps I'm wrong here, but I don't believe I am. And all the hype for this shitty WrestleMania 34 main event, has the WWE mentioned once the fact that both guys defeated The Undertaker at past WrestleManias? I said this, like months and months ago here, that one of the selling points for this match should be the history of how both Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker at past WrestleManias, and now the only two guys who ever beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania are facing off. Alas, this makes logical sense. And again, maybe I missed something somewhere, but to the best of my knowledge, the WWE has never mentioned this selling point of the match. And hey, by time the Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns match happens, approximately 6 hours into WrestleMania, at that point in time, anyone who cared about this match won't. I am Ripper the Clown.